Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk. And tonight we got Diamond Troy Justice interview, and we will bring him on here in a few seconds. I'm going to bring on JJ. What's up, Jay? And there is Diamond Troy Justice. How you doing, Troy?
Good, Larry. How you guys doing, JJ?
All right, buddy. Doing well.
Good.
What's new?
Well, the weather's been a lot better.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. So who's that guy behind you to your right?
That is to my right. That is about a 6 foot tall zombie. And I got Michael Myers over here. And then these are all my kills, all my trophy kills. I'm a big hunter.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was referring to Michael. I didn't see the other zombie, but I guess it was your other right.
Yeah, other right. Yeah, big life-size zombie.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we're going to sit down and talk with you and pick your brain about some wrestling and talk some other stuff. And Jay's going to get you started here. All right.
Okay.
Well, right off the top, I just wanted to say I brought this up in the Bubba interview we did. In 2002, I had a tryout in Indiana with I believe it was APWF.
Mm-hmm.
And you were I don't know how far along into your training you were, but when I got in the ring, you actually were the one to show me the proper way how to do a body slam.
Yeah.
And that always stuck with me. My tryout, my tenure was not very long, but I always remember that day, and I just wanted to say thank you. You were lending a helping hand to a guy who was scared as hell. So,
well, you're welcome. You know, I'm glad that I made that day. The experience good for you. You know, I always cared about other people, and I just wanted the best for them, and I'm glad that helped you out.
It certainly stuck with me. So I guess right off the top, like what inspired you to get into the business?
Well, I got into the business by accident. I was 29 years old. And it was kind of weird because my career and DDP's career was about the same. We got into wrestling late. And that was about 2001, the summer of 2001. I went to an APWF show. And I was really a fan. I was big. I was in shape. And I was really giving it to Kato. I mean, I called Kato every name in the book and everything else. I cheered for Bubba, and because he was the hometown hero. And the show's over. I started to leave, and here come Big Lenny out of the locker room and gave me Kato's card and said, "Would you like to be a professional wrestler? Because my brother wants to train you."
Wow.
I was like, game on.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who were your obviously DDP, but who were some of your other early influences?
Definitely The Undertaker. And then when Kane came, I really loved Kane in the character. But The Undertaker was my inspiration. I wanted to. I wish I was big like him, but I really liked his work ethic and his story, how he became a professional wrestler and how WCW said he'd be nothing, and Vince took him to the mountaintop. You know,
Kane going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, Glenn.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So, obviously, you was a pro. How long was you a pro wrestler, Troy?
14 years.
Wow, 14. So, what's some of your accomplishments that you had while you was a pro wrestler?
Well, I think the biggest accomplishment was winning the heavyweight title in APWF. And then when I lost it to the Blue Meanie. That was one of the best matches of my life in Oil City, PA. And it was on TV. The local TV came in and did the show. And but that was my big accomplishment, was being the face of the company and Bubba trusting me to carry his title. Also, when Kato put the tag team straps on me and Bubba, that was a memorial time, because that was the only match my mother got to watch me in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. So, other than APWF and obviously KCW and Altoona, which other wrestling federations did you work for?
I worked only them two. I had offers to go to Ohio, and but at the time, I had a lot to learn. My career started out not like everybody else's. I was being trained in the APWF under Sean, his Polish name at the end, Lemunsky, something like that. And
which is Dr. Feelgood, correct?
Which is correct, Dr. Feelgood. And I knew all the moves, but I knew nothing about ring psychology. I didn't learn that to Kato training. So about a year, I trained with Dr. Feelgood, and he was dressing up as Spider-Man. He was doing a double gimmick. And as the Insaniac, I came in, and all the kids booed me, so it was easy. But when I went to wrestle at KCW, and I wrestled Kato, and I started having issues getting the crowd to boo me and everything else, because it wasn't working.
Right. So after you was done with APWF and KCW, you also had your own wrestling federation, right?
Yeah, DCW. I started my own.
And tell us a little bit about that. How long did that go? And did you bring in any big names? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we ran for 7 years, and people I brought in was Julio De Niro, Doink the Clown.
Julio was a great worker.
Yeah, Julio. I got to wrestle Julio, and I'm gonna tell you what, man, that guy is awesome. And also brought in the Patriot, and I think that was about it. We had a not a road warrior, a Ultimate Warrior guy did his gimmick. I wrestled him. He sucked. But other than that, I think that was the top names: Julio De Niro and the Patriot.
That's not bad. Not bad at all. And where did you mostly run at?
We ran out of Hastings. We ran out of Hastings only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had the building there. We ran every month, and we had a lot of good times, a lot of memorable matches there with other people, like Jimmy the Hippie, Bill Collier, Kato, Bubba. Bubba even came and worked for me at the end. Which was
okay.
Cool. Yeah.
So is Northern Cambria a big wrestling town?
Yes, yeah, it was. It's actually, if it wasn't for the pandemic, Kato was going to run the Hastings building for Imagine Wrestling. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Jay, do you have anything for him?
Do you think that an indie promotion like that would work, but minus the pandemic? Do you think an indie promotion like that would draw today?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's people hungry. When we left, there's a lot of people that are hungry. But the thing about it is, it was a lot had to do with economics. People were having a hard time paying $10 at the door. That was back then. Now it'd be a different story. But yeah, I think it, he ran Blairsville. That's where he put me in the Ring of Honor, and I thought that was a great show. That was Blairsville's first wrestling show.
Oh, okay. Ever?
Yeah, ever.
Wow.
Because I'm a native of Blairsville, and I told him, and wrestling show's never been here ever.
Wow.
So it was a great show that night.
Well, that's awesome. So you mentioned about being in Imagine's hall. It's basically the Hall of Fame, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. And also, Bubba was inducted into that too, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, who was your best feud with that you had whenever you was working?
Well, I tell you what, when me and Bubba were in KCW, it was Kato and Big Lenny. And that feud ran for a whole year. And the night of the cage, I wrestled Big Lenny right before the cage match. And that's when I started to get over a little bit with the fans. They accepted me because I'll be honest with you, I hated my gimmick. My gimmick was manufactured. It wasn't something I picked. And I hated the gimmick, but I did with it the best I could. And me and Lenny had a great match. I went off the second rope, did a splash, and some of the fans got up and were clapping and cheering. These guys hated my gut.
Bubba said the same. Bubba said the same thing in his interview. He said that Altoona absolutely hated Jens.
We had to have security walk us out. It was bad. Then one guy wanted to shoot us.
Was that heel heat or was that go away heat?
What was that?
Was that heel heat or was that go away heat?
It was a lot of it had a lot to do with Kato's wife, Honey.
Oh, okay.
She was trained, but you don't put your hands on a lady. I body slammed her and Bubba hit the leg drop on her, and I'm gonna tell you what, they cried. They hated our guts.
Yeah, Bubba brought that up also in the interview we did with him. He said that brought a lot of heat. But at the time, man, you couldn't do that now.
No.
But at the time, what a hell of an angle.
Oh, I couldn't believe he was letting us do it, Yeah. And we had masks on. We entered the ring, we had masks on. They didn't know who we were. And poor Honey, she took it, man. That leg drop came down on her, and we took the masks off, and the crowd, people, it was the CIA, a group called themselves the CIA. They were crying. They got up. They were mad. One guy told me he was going to go home and get his 30-06 and shoot me.
Jesus.
And, it was that bad. And then we'd walk out to the ring. Kato had security, but they if they could throw stuff at you, they would, but they weren't allowed to do that, but they would get the finger gestures and
that's old school stuff right there.
Oh yeah.
You'll never, in my opinion, you'll never get that back.
Once we touched the woman, it was game on. And everybody, the price tag on our heads was high.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So who's the best worker you worked with?
Well, I'd have to say the best worker I worked with would have to be my trainer Kato, because Kato taught me ring psychology. And what I liked about what Kato did was, I was having issues. I left being trained by Dr. Feelgood. Kato took me under his wing and taught me ring psychology. And we started having matches together. And he would talk to me in the ring. And I started, learning, getting the crowd against me, getting them all for him. And so wrestling your trainer is being nervous, number one, because you don't want to mess it up because you're going to get it at practice. But he was number one. Number two was Bill Collier. I wrestled Bill Collier as the Insaniac when he did that for me. And I like to say, if he's watching, I always will appreciate him doing that for me. We did the tombstone pile drivers and on each other. And Bill was a natural to work with. I mean, Bill was a natural in training. I mean, the guy came in and he really didn't need that much. I don't know what old Kato did with him, but when he came with us, I mean, the guy was made. I mean, he was big. He was born and bred, and you don't see too many people like that come into your business.
Right. So now, who in the locker room? Who was the biggest razzer in the locker room?
Oh, it's got to be Big Lenny and Jimmy the Hit. If you weren't getting hit in the balls or getting your something going on, practical joke, it'd have to be Jimmy the Hippie and Big Lenny.
Yeah, I think Bubba mentioned Big Lenny also in his interview about being the biggest prankster.
He was a prankster, all right. He liked to get in your gear and mess it up, and he had fun. It was just all fun, But I'd have to say them two were the best at it.
Awesome. Go ahead, Jay.
So I always like to ask, so who was Larry already covered it. Who was the biggest, for lack of a better word, shithead that you ever worked with?
Wow, man. Dr. Feelgood.
Oh. Okay.
Dr. Feelgood.
Wow.
I didn't like how he treated people. I didn't like, it was all for him. I didn't like, just because he had a dark match, Chris Lash thought he was a god, and the guy had a really bad attitude. And I had won the title one night in the K Arena. I won the heavyweight title as the Insaniac. The next night there was a match in Punxsutawney, and he stripped me of the title. He did that on purpose.
What was the reason? What was the reason you were given?
He made me wrestle this guy that I didn't even know. I beat him in like 20 seconds. Then he came out, and I didn't even know it was going down. But he came out. He's like, "We're gonna wrestle in the middle of the ring." And so we wrestled, and he hit me with a move, and he told me to take the 3 count. I took the 3 count. He picked up the title, and he threw it in the middle of the ring and beat me. I only held the title for less than 24 hours. That was my first title reign. And then he compared it to Kane when Steve Austin beat him the next night. I forget what was that when Kane dumped the gasoline or the Inferno match, or
that was the King of the Ring. Actually, that was the King of the Ring in Pittsburgh when Foley went off the top.
Yeah,
and they beat him.
There you go. And then Steve Austin took it right back next night on Raw, which was a great match. That wasn't what I had with Shawn. And Shawn didn't, he didn't like being told what to do, and it was bad. Sometimes it was bad. It got good when it was just me and Bubba. Chris Lash is the biggest piece of trash in wrestling, and
we've heard that a lot.
Yeah, he caused a lot of problems. He caused people to fight and everything else. He caused me problems in DCW. He was trying to anyway, and it didn't work. It didn't work out for him, and he caused Bubba problems too. And but those are the 2 biggest pieces of trash I've ever seen in wrestling.
Yeah, it seems to be those 2 names get brought up a lot in our interviews.
Yeah.
So that's and you would think, Dr. Feelgood had he had the look and
Yeah.
and all that stuff. You would think he would treat everybody a little bit different.
Yeah. He go about 20 miles long, and it was bad, and I wasted a year there training with him when I should have went to. What happened was Cato wanted to train me, Sean, and then Chris Lash wanted to do it, and I chose them because they were right down the road instead of going to Altoona every week. I regret that to this day. And if I would have went and got another year under Cato, I can guarantee you I probably would have wore the KCW heavyweight title.
Absolutely.
Biggest mistake of my life.
That's a shame. Well, live and learn, right?
That's right. Live and learn.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
So I just got one more thing. How in tune are you with the current product?
What's that?
How in tune are you with the current product?
Not that much. I watch WWE, but now that I really don't like when they released Andrade. I thought that was a big mistake. I thought he was a solid worker. I thought that was a mistake. I don't watch AEW. Now I'm going to because of Bill. I'm going to watch that dark match, but I'm more into movies and stuff like that. And you take Taker and Kane away. I do like Bray Wyatt's character, the Fiend.
Yep, absolutely.
So I've been cheering on Bray Wyatt. I like that he come back and he looks more scarier than ever and all that. And it reminds me of Kane. And so, I still watch it, but I don't watch it I'm not glued to it like I used to be.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I can't watch a whole WWE show anymore. But
yeah.
I mean, as you know, as you see in our Facebook group all the time, I'm a big AEW guy, and I can't believe you don't watch AEW, Troy. That upsets me.
I know. I let you down, Larry. I got to start watching, and I will. I want to
Troy,
check out the Brody Lee. When he went over there, I watched it a few times, and I got to know Brody Lee in KCW, and then he died, and I was very sad that he died, but I got to share a locker room with him. He's a very humble man. I think Cato put the match up with him and Big Lenny from KCW when he wrestled as Brody Lee.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he did that just today.
Just today?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Brody Lee, man, big as he was another great help. He would, you could ask him anything and he would help you, and wonderful person.
That's
absolutely.
By all accounts, he was a
man.
That's awesome to hear from somebody who actually dealt with him. That's very
yeah.
Cool.
So Troy, the big news today in the wrestling world is big time Bill Collier had a AEW match last night for the tapings for next week for Dark Elevation. So how do you feel about that? I know that, everybody agrees that, Bill's the biggest unsigned indie worker on right now. So tell us your thoughts about that.
Well, I've been praying that he would get signed by the WWE or AEW. But I'm so glad that he got a shot. There's nobody out there that's more deserving than him. Bill's another humble guy in the ring. When you talk to him, he's humble. I don't think none of that's going to change, and I hope he gets signed. From the dark match, and they start using him, and and stuff like that. And that'll make wrestling really fun. Then, Larry, I'll be an AEW fan 100%.
You should be already, Troy.
I'm going to be, man. I'm going to get the shirt and everything.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, I got two more things for you, and
Sure.
then I don't know if Jay has anything else, but so you keep referring to the Insaniac. If nobody knows what the Insaniac was, that was a character. Tell us how the birth of the Insaniac came about.
Well, what happened was Chris Lash wanted Big Lenny to be to rip off the Undertaker, and then Lenny wouldn't do it. And so I came in, and Lenny was about a year ahead of me in training. Lenny was having matches. I was still training. And they came up with this Insaniac gimmick to rip off Kane. And, come in with the mask and take it off, and your face is painted like the mask. It let me have a little bit of creative stuff with it. And so the Insaniac was born to fight Spider-Man, because Sean had a Spider-Man wrestling suit, and he was born. And so I remember coming out to my first match. I had black. I have on black singlet. I had yellow pants, and I had green crocodile shoes, boots.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, talking about atrocity. Yeah, and then I picked green and yellow as my colors. I'd paint my face like the mask, and then I changed it to Steeler colors there for you, Larry. I changed it later on to Steeler colors because I like black and gold or black and yellow.
There you go.
So that's how the Insaniac was born. Then I gave him the story because I tried to get him in as a comic book villain. I wrote to Marvel. They read my story and said thanks, but no thanks. But at least I tried.
Right. Now, you wasn't the only one that played the Insaniac character.
No.
So, would you like to reveal who that was?
That was big time Bill Collier. And he played it better than I did. He came in all black. He was more scarier. He was more he would come into the ring and people would be like, oh, this and that. And he could do the rope walk like the Undertaker. And I was like, let's just keep doing that. And then nobody would take a tombstone pile driver. You have to understand, in my time in the business, nobody would take a tombstone pile driver except for me. Me and Big Time, we would trade them off, But when he wrestled as Insaniac, I put it to the story with Troy Justice and then Diamond Troy Justice, as I was his police partner. I screwed him over and he got burnt. So he came back out from the dead to get me. And we had some great matches together. That's how I got Brittany Force into wrestling. It was me that got her into business because I was like, at the time he was dating her. And I was like, where's your girlfriend at? And he's like, well, she's sitting right there. And I went, okay, when you come out, I'm going to use her as a hostage. So when he came out, I ran out in the crowd and grabbed her by the neck and said, come on, big man, come and get her. Come and get her. And that's how she got her start.
Now, did she know that she was going to be part of the show that night?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she knew.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that story. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I went out and grabbed her by the neck, and then I used her as a hostage situation, and it worked out really well.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So Troy, the last wrestling question I got for you, and then I got one other one, but you kind of already answered it. So as you know, me and Jay go back and forth every day. He's a WWE Roman Reigns guy and Drew McIntyre, and obviously I'm AEW.
Yeah.
So who would you pick right now? Would you go with AEW or WWE or AEW?
As of right now, with Bill Collier, I'm going with AEW.
Damn.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it, Troy. Diamond
Yeah.
Troy.
Yeah.
Jay,
I mean,
everybody's picking AEW. Nobody wants your WWE shit, Jay.
Well, we've done 3 interviews, and I am 0 for 3.
when I heard about Bill Collier getting signed, or not getting signed to a dark match, and then I'm praying it goes for America, because the man should be signed. I'm definitely going to be watching AEW, because I hope they sign him and he just tears it up.
Absolutely. Jay, do you have anything wrestling related for Troy yet?
No, man. I just want to say thank you for it. There were a lot of shows that I went to that you were on, and I enjoyed the hell out of them. I loved everything you did, and I just wanted to say thank you, and it's an honor to have you on our Facebook page. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys doing this.
So Troy, in closing, this is not wrestling related.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your Wild Boar films.
Yeah. When I was a wrestler, I would go to the movies a lot, and I just wanted to be an extra in a movie. Well, that wasn't happening. So the Blue Meanie was in these independent movies, and he got me a gig, and I played it was a fight scene, but I was all from nuclear fallout and everything else. I was this beast, and I got a little part in the movie called Warriors of the Apocalypse. And so the guy told me what camera to buy and everything else. And to make a long story short, I always was a writer. I wrote in high school, and I had an imagination, and I just said, look, I'm going to do this. And so I have 4 films right now that can be bought on Amazon. They're marketable with a firm out in California. And so my work made it. It made it out there, and I'm working on my 5th film this year.
That's awesome.
That's a hell of an accomplishment, man.
Yeah. I just thank God for that, because I remember going to watch The Punisher. I told Bubba, I was like, me and you could have done that. They had some good extras in there. I was like, we could have done that. And, he'd be like laughing at me, like, what are you talking about? This and that. But I was like, we could do that, and so I ended up doing it on my own.
That's awesome. Well, Troy, I guess we're gonna let you go so you can get back to doing whatever you was doing earlier, and we appreciate you coming on and talking with us, and we would love to have you on again sometime soon in the near future.
Oh, hey, anytime, and I appreciate you guys doing what you're doing. Pro Wrestling Stream Talk, it's nice to. I heard you guys got Kato signed to come on here, and I am looking forward to that one, because Kato is very passionate about wrestling and teaching, and maybe that'll get some people that watch him that maybe are in maybe not wrestling the right way, and say, look, I'm going to go get taught by this guy.
Like all the guys in AEW, probably.
Yeah.
Come on. see what I go through, Troy?
Yeah.
Him and his stupid comments about AEW.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's a Roman Reigns guy.
Well, I like Roman Reigns.
Best deal in the business.
Roman Reigns.
What's that?
There's nothing wrong with Roman Reigns. I really like Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay.
There you have it.
Yeah, I like Roman Reigns. I lost my sister to leukemia last year, and he got leukemia, and he's been battling that. That's why I like him, and my sister liked him. So
Okay. I mean, I could go with that. I can go with that.
yeah.
So, but again, we'd like to thank you, Troy, and hopefully we can get you onto another show with us in the near future. And we hope that you have a fantastic day, and we will talk to you soon, Troy.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for loving wrestling. And keep doing what you're doing, and I'll be looking forward to your next guest.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Have a good night, Troy.
You too. Good night, guys.
Good night.